April.
Hi.
Hi. What are you cooking? This looks good over here. Tell me a little bit about what you have going on.
Well, the theme this morning is brunch. In addition to the waffles that are being made, I'm going to do a little bit of an egg frittata.
Yum. April, what's cooking mean to you? Anybody who's been around you for any length of time knows that you can cook and that food is an important part of the way you walk through the world. Tell us a little bit about what cooking means to you.
So, probably after walking and talking in my family, cooking was the next thing that was taught to me. I remember being given a stool in my home kitchen so that I could reach the stove or reach the sink. That's how integral food and preparation and really meals with loved ones has been for me. So it's a huge part of my DNA, and it's also something that I've come to just really enjoy and love. Cooking also is a relaxer for me. I find that it gets stress out, so if I'm stressed, I will make many complicated and multiple hours long recipes, and it's fun. It's a wonderful challenge, and I get to, at the end of cooking, present tasty food to the people around me, to my loved ones and to friends. So in general, that's what cooking is for me. I also think that what it takes to prepare for it, right? So thinking about my work with MBA, there is so much preparation that goes into everything that we do at MBA. Whether it's social media live, there's rehearsals and scripts and camera angles to think about, to working with our donors, to communicating with those who support us, to preparing the communications and to having the conversations. There is a lot of intentional preparation that goes on in the life of MBA, in my work with MBA. And I connect that, in the preparation of cooking a meal. You have to have the right ingredients. You have to have the right space. You have to have people willing to try new things and give you good and honest feedback about whether this is a real keeper of a recipe or nope, you can change it up and do something different. So I think about that connection with cooking, with preparation, and with my work with MBA.
Thank you. Well, I think I'm going to get to enjoy some of your preparation later today.
Yes.
And I'm looking at all the deliciousness that you've got going on in these
some
bowls.
Eggs, some leeks. Somebody said kind of onions are for commoners, and so leeks and shallots are for those who really enjoy food. So that's something to keep in mind. I love me some leeks and some eggs. So
excellent. Yeah. And down at this end, we've got some delicious freshness going on that April has already prepped for us today. Thanks.
So, Rebecca.
Hi.
So
you caught me with my head in the oven, which is not an unusual place to find me.
What has been cooked today, or what did you cook?
Well, April and I have been working on a couple of fun things. We have some delicious plant-based breakfast sausages, a frittata that April made and it looks delicious. And we also decided to do a waffle bar. So we've got some delicious Belgian waffles. Then we have some toppings, some of our favorite toppings. Whipped cream, of course, because what would a waffle be without whipped cream? And then we like to play at being healthy. So there are some lovely berries and bananas here, some almond butter, some pecans, some delicious maple syrup, and of course, because our playing at being healthy only goes so far, some lovely chocolate syrup.
So what does cooking mean for you?
Cooking, when I was growing up, there were times at which the household I grew up in was really chaotic. But when I was about 8 or 9 years old, my parents started going to the First Christian Church of Turin in Pennsylvania. And one of the ways that my mother found her identity in that church was by cooking. And so she would cook for everyone. Sunday after church, we never knew how many people would be around the table. And my mother's table seemed to be as long as it needed to be, as open as it needed to be. And I watched my mother find her life by engaging in the act of setting a table for people who mattered to her, for people who just came through the church for one reason or another, for people in the neighborhood who needed a place to sit. And so that open table, that long table, really is my way, in some ways, of honoring my own mother, honoring the way she came to find meaning in this world and make meaning in this world.
And cooking involves process. And what does that mean for you, process and preparation?
Yes. So cooking is a process. From the moment of I'm going to have people over to who are they? What do they love? What don't they love? What can they eat? What can't they eat? Allergies are a big thing in my household, so we're really careful about what goes in to every step of the meal, from the ingredients to what utensils and pans we use. So I bring that same care to any meal that I prepare for the people who are going to gather around the table. And it's not just the food, right? It's also the moment of welcome. You know, who's walking in the door and how are they being greeted, to what the table looks like. I mean, I'll admit, you know, in some lifetimes I might have been Martha Stewart, so I really care about how that table looks, about not only the prep of the food, but how the overall welcome happens. And that reminds me a lot of my work, that reminds me a lot about the way I work with NBA too. We are always all about who's at the table, who's set the table, who's even built the table, right? And then what are the needs, from concrete needs to emotional needs to spiritual needs of the people who will gather with us.